i-ano nyo, i-share ninyo para makita ng mga tao ano bang nangyayari sa latest update. Bakit ba hindi dapat tayo parang mataranta? Kasi we are made to expect. Parang ini-expect nila na magwala ng mga tao. No. Don't do that. Because the moment we are going to express rage over that, it's not even a decision. Why are we wasting our energy? It's not even a decision yet. It's just a position of the prosecution team. It's not a decision. Pero ang ipakita na wala na dito, dapat i-explain natin. Kaya nga, kailangan nating mag-usap. Kailangan natin suportahan ang isa't isa. Kasi tayo, doon lang tayo sa totoo. Look, also in the position in the response submitted by the prosecution team, sinabi further, if released, Mr. Duterte would have greater access to his associates and family who remain in position of power with access to networks and personnel to carry out witness interference. So are you saying that because PRRD is inside the detention facility, he should have a limited access to family and associates? Are you saying that it is okay what's happening to him right now? That if he have family visit just like that? Diba? Yan yung na-weirdohan ko na statement mo ko, as in, so you're literally limiting him to live a certain way. When it has been explicitly mentioned in the motion filed by the defense team that he will live outside the geographical area of where the alleged crimes have been committed. So why are we talking like this in a manner that he should be limited only to living a certain way without access to associates or whatnot? Again, guys, this cases or this particular development happened 3 years, X number of years after his presidency. Why was it not filed the year after he finished his term of office? Why? We have our local courts. Why were these cases needed to be filed in an international institution, in an international body, which, by the way, we are no longer a member of? So, what is the point of that? Why? That's why I was thinking, why would you put that? Why would you restrict a Filipino from living a life that he should, or also exercising or availing of the due process? Diba? As noted above, his daughter, as noted above, his daughter, Sara Duterte, is Vice President of the Philippines and as a reserve colonel in the army with strong links to the police and military. What's the connection of her being the Vice President? It just so happened that because the people believed in her capacity, she was voted by the way, an overwhelming majority of 32 million, the highest in the Philippine history ever. So what's the point? Diba, di na ako mag-gets. Why is this even, as an ordinary person, I find it mind-boggling. Why? I don't get it. If these positions she wields power and influence, the main purpose of a vice president is to succeed power should something happen to the president. That is the main role of the vice president. She doesn't even have a decision-making power, even though she belongs to the executive. I don't get it. In this position, Mr. Duterte's son, Sebastian Duterte, was mayor of Davao City. Following Mr. Duterte's election mayor, he now serves as the vice mayor of Davao City. Under the relevant legislation, a vice mayor performs the duties of a mayor in the event of the absence of a mayor, and he has the same power and duty as the mayor. Sebastian Duterte therefore maintains operational control over relevant domestic legislation for all the police officers in Davao City. But, by the way, my dear, did you not also consider that the motion filed by the defense team is that Mr. Duterte will be hosted by a country who expressed willingness to host him outside the geographical context where the alleged crimes happened or took place. Huh? Very, very very weird ang talagang nila. Also, even the impeachment of the vice president is being pointed out as part of their as previously submitted by the prosecution. Blah blah blah. She is also currently facing impeachment proceedings on accusations, including that she plotted to assassinate the current president of the Philippines. What? You're already meddling with internal matters, internal matters, which, by the way, is being faced by the vice president herself with respect to this situation before the NBI. So I don't understand why is this. Also, the previous note, the prosecution various law enforcement president Mr. Duterte has supporters in security and law enforcement across the Philippines. Many of whom. So, by the way, while reading this, so I think the country being asked to host or being opted to be a host for his interim release is the Philippines. Because why are you so angry? Why are you so afraid of him being brought back to the of him being granted an interim release? So, it is the Philippines the Philippines is the place for the interim release, because why are these things relevant if he's going to be hosted by a country outside the geographical area of where the alleged crimes took place? So why are this even relevant, this information? If, let's say, for example, as one of the countries listed as mentioned by the Vice President, Australia, what's the fuss? Are you saying that the enforcement of or the influences of whatever it is that you have mentioned that is evident supersede than that of the a country, also an independent country, a sovereign country such as Australia? Di na ko mag-gets ang logic. Diba? So those are the things that I find it very weird, to be honest. Look, guys, this is very interesting, ha? In 2009, the chairperson of the Philippine Commission on Human Rights, Laila de Lima, investigated extrajudicial killings in Davao City, including the existence of DDS and Mr. Duterte's alleged links to it. Former Davao City Police Officer, self-confessed member DDS, Arturo Las Cañas, has publicly revealed that Mr. Duterte formulated a plan to assassinate Ms. de Lima while she was conducting this investigation, and yet she was still able to run as senator, and she even sat as a senator until she was imprisoned. But again, this particular part of the motion or the response of the prosecutor is very much it's very much in line with the questions of Senator J.V. Ejercito during a Senate inquiry or whatever. When Senator J.V. Ejercito asked a question, Laila de Lima before, by the way, was the Secretary of Justice after she became the Commission on Human Rights. This was her findings, perhaps, that there was DDS, blah, blah, blah. But why didn't she file any cases? She was, then again, she became also the Secretary of Justice. Why? Sabi niya ni Senator JB, why did you not, file cases before Mr. Duterte? You were a very influential, and you have the ear of the president before. Why didn't you do anything about these allegations or sort of anong sinabi ni then Senator Laila de Lima? Ganito yan, meron siyang reasons. But it remains that hindi sila nakafile talaga if the evidences are very strong to point out that allegations were so true. Grabe, guys. So that it made me think that this is really the position as well of the detractors of then President Duterte, of the former President Duterte, is being literally taken also by the prosecution team. Diba? Even Mr. Alan Peter Cayetano was made mention in the response of the prosecutor. You see? Can you imagine? Appears before the hearing and instructed them to remain loyal to Mr. Duterte and deny all allegations against him. My goodness, Lord. It wasn't Senator JV who asked Lima. It was half-brother Senator... no, sorry. Yeah, I stand corrected. It was Senator Jenggoy Estrada, not JV pala. It was Senator Jenggoy pala. Correct. It was Senator Jenggoy. Sorry. Kuyaw. Kuyaw kayo ang submission sa kuwan. Wala, kuyaw na siya. And then letter C, because they had A, B, C, D. Number C, sinabi niya, the continued detention of Mr. Duterte is necessary to prevent him from continuing with the commission of that crime or a related crime which is within the jurisdiction of the court and which arises out of the same circumstances pursuant to Article 58, 1B, number 3. At 80 years old? Nagrabi na kaniwa? Really? Mr. Duterte has reportedly previously stated that he planned to run for mayor. By the way, he didn't. He's not only planning to run as mayor. He is already the elected mayor, chosen by who garnered more than 600,000 votes. It is a protest response by the people of Davao. Diba? My God. D. The risk identified under cannot be mitigated by the defense proposal for interim release. So, sinasabi nila, yung mga problema na pwedeng i-double niya ganito ganyan, yung mga crime or whatnot, hindi yan ma-mitigate because of the interim release. Hindi na ko kasama. But you know, it is for the pre-trial chamber 1 to appreciate the submission of both the defense and the prosecution team. As an ordinary citizen, as a Filipino, I think it's my duty to be wary, to be aware, to be critical of the submissions of both parties. Yan po ang iniisip ko palagi. Yan po ang iniisip ko. Influential mo daw na siya, maudi na siya musugot nga interim release kung asa gusto mahimo niya basta ilalang pangagpasar. Oh, correct. Impeach siya, exactly. Second prosecution means, my God. Look, how cruel is this? With respect to the defense submission that humanitarian factors militate in favor of Mr. Duterte's release, the prosecution notes that, as admitted by the defense, humanitarian factors are not, on their own, a consideration of the Chamber's analysis pursuant to the article. Furthermore, jurisprudence cites the submission of the ICC has in practice granted provisional release for humanitarian reasons. Relates to 2 instances in which chambers granted detained persons permissions to attend funerals, not an extended period of interim release. So, nagrantan lang pala before ng interim release yung dalawa because of attending a funeral, but eventually nakauli lang din. Again, I think it's very unfair that even, the prosecutor should have already taken into account that he's also the very first ever person detained or being held inside the ICC detention facility who's 80 years old. Yan po ang totoo. Dito sa Duterte Street sila Hearty, si Cyron o si Princess. I saw na nag-live sila dito, guys. Pasensya na guys, I cannot go there because I'm really not in the right, especially after this. I cannot. It's just too much. And also, meron pa din tayong pasabog. Nakita nyo ba yung shinare ko na testimony ata isang testimony ng isang tao na ginamit daw ni Senator Risa Hontiveros. Look, this one, you need to watch this. You need to share it para po makita ng mga tao ano po ang other side of the story. That's why I shared it as well. For people to basically be given a different side of the story. Talaga, oo. Kaya nga, si Tatay Digo nga kasi, you know what guys, kaya siya nagpakulong na lang siya dyan sa loob because he doesn't want to have any problem. He doesn't want the Filipino people to suffer or to be in problem or whatnot, ganito, ganyan. Ayaw niya yung mga Pilipino maglaban, Filipino versus Filipino. So, totoo lang. Ang gusto niya, peaceful lang tayong lahat. Yan yung katotohanan. That's why he made mention, if this is my destiny to be inside the ICC detention facility or outside the detention facility, this is the most painful part to hear. So be it. It's basically saying indirectly, if it's my destiny to die inside the ICC detention facility or outside the detention facility or anywhere else, so be it. Diba? Can you imagine? That is very, 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 extremely difficult to accept as a Filipino. That's why I know if something happens kay Tatay Digong inside the prison or anywhere else, kung saan man siya mag-interim release, that is a very difficult reality to accept. Talagang ang tao niyan magagalit. Kung magalit nga ako, I'm pretty sure it will also resonate to a lot of people. That's why I cannot and will never be able to forgive those people who are individuals collectively working together closely para ilagay si Tatay Digong dyan sa loob ng detention facility. Nandyan na nga sa detention facility yung tao, ginagawan pa ng issue, ginagawan pa ng kung ano-ano. Diba? I cannot believe that. I cannot accept that for the life of me. To be honest. The person needs our prayer. The person needs our unwavering resolve to show our may police doon, oh. Si Harty, may police.
Hello, dinang police. Buutan man police. Yes, among police diri buutan sila. Dili sila ko. Wala, thank you sa pakar. Thank you sa mga palay. Naunsa na. Ingon si Alvin, naunsa na. Yan yun lang misya diri. Alvin, kanang, wait sa friend, kanang, 29 ba to friend ang ang official nga balik nato diri?
Yeah.
Check siguro sila ang ID. Kuan ka ng official, di ko murag 29, murag dili ko kuan bro, 29 to ang kanang permit. Yeah, ang balik diri is permit 29, murag di ko sure. So ato inon si Alvin unsa may kuan. Yes, 29 lagi. Wala. Tara ko si Alvin mo, adin sa akong live. 29 daw? 29, adili, mingon ko 29 ba? Murag 29 gito ang kuan diri. So karon karon? Wala gid siya. Wala siya. Mo lagi din na kanapong balik na natin. Ay ikaw, adili naman sila. Thank you, well. Yoy.
Sorry about that. I just wanted to check what's happening, but then yeah. The ICC prosecution asked tribunal to reject Duterte's. Can you see what the media is doing? The mainstream media. That's why nobody will know the other side of the story. That's why people are panicking, because the media is basically making it sensationalized. It's only the prosecution. That's very normal. The prosecution team would definitely try to make sure that PRRD will not get the interim release, as they have filed an urgent motion for it. But you know, it was sensationalized everywhere. Talaga. Totoo. But if it was the defense asking for this, wala lang, parang wala lang. But if it's if it's going to be against the Dutertes, the whole world would be very like, yes, yo, dapat na lang talaga. Can you imagine that? Where is fairness there? So tayo-tayo na lang talaga na dito. Diba? Tayo-tayo na lang talaga ang magtulungan. Ipang-share na lang talaga yung mga kung ano-ano, because the narrative, the overwhelming narrative, na ang ginawa lang naman talaga ng prosecution is sinagot, ay gusto nilang hindi i-accept yung mismong motion ng defense, but it was already made to appear that there's already a decision or whatnot. Kaya yung tao natakot. Yung tao nagalit. Yung tao nasama. Alam mo yun, I don't get it. I really don't get that. Why? We are all Filipinos. We're supposed to be one in this. Because ang kababayan natin, the former head of state, is representing us in the international community. There is no left or right here anymore. It's about Filipinos. We are becoming a laughing stock, a topic in the international scene. A topic for them to say, oh, they cannot even handle their internal affairs. Why are we, they are now asking the international body, who, by the way, every time we are talking to a white person, says, oh, why is he there? Yeah, exactly. In the same way, we are asking the same question. Why is he there? Why does he need to be there? We have our judiciary. We have our Supreme Court. Bakit siya nandiyan? OA kayo ang news. Ginapakita talaga, ipinapakita talaga ba na, ay, ganito ang nangyari kay PRRD, some sort of a validation? Or a vindication? That it's supposed to be something we're to be happy with as Filipinos? Na ang isang Pilipino na nalagay dyan? Who, by the way, super majority of Filipinos do not agree of his arrest. And why is it that it's over sensationalized in the medias? Why? Di ko magets. But if it's for like little goodness about PRRD, nada, literal, nix, nada, wala. Diba? Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Oh, can you imagine that? So, to me, tayo na lang talaga ang magtulong-tulong. Kaya nila itong platform ko, gipa-lower nila ang reach eh. Kasi alam nila na kung yung sinasabi ko, mag-resonate talaga sa mga tao. So, i-share ninyo para makita ng mga tao ano bang nangyayari sa latest update. Bakit ba hindi dapat tayo parang mataranta? Kasi we are made to expect. Parang ina-expect nila na, oh, magwala ng mga tao. No, don't do that. Because the moment we are going to express rage over, it's not even a decision. Why are we wasting our energy? It's not even a decision yet. It's just a position of the prosecution team. It's not a decision. Pero ang ipakita na wala na dito, dapat i-explain natin. Kaya nga, kailangan nating mag-usap. Kailangan natin suportahan ang isa't isa. Kasi tayo, doon lang tayo sa totoo. Yan, that's why, this is the very reason why I'm doing what I am doing. Even though, sometimes it gets difficult. To me, it's very emotional of a topic. Kasi nga, you're fighting for your country, but there's also other countrymen, yung mga compatriots mo, fighting against what you are fighting. We are living in a democracy, that I understand, that I accept. But to make a very unfair action when it's not favorable to you, or otherwise, bakit ganun? Pareho naman tayo mga Pilipino. Pareho naman tayo mga nakikinabang. Diba? Can you imagine that? It's just very difficult. Diba guys? Sorry ha. Can you imagine? It's like vultures. They are like vultures. They feed on worst, ugly, dead, suffering. They feed on they're like, I don't know how to say that. They're like, I don't know, bottom dwellers. You know what I mean? It's just so unfair. If you love the Philippines, why are you doing this to the Filipino people? Making them feel like supposed to be outraged or whatnot. Why do we do that? Dapat tayong lumaban ng patas lang ba? It's okay to have to have a dissent. It's okay to have a differing views. But please don't make a fool of the Filipino people. Pare-pareho lang tayo dito ah. Demokrasya ito ah.